So it's lap 28 at the Singapore Grand Prix, and are we actually going to get our first race win on Formula 1 2014? Well, only time can tell, but time is running out. There is only 3 laps to go, and yeah, this would be amazing if I could get my first win at Singapore. But hello guys, and welcome to the Marina Bay circuit just before the race starts. And we are in 7th place on the grid, which is quite a good achievement. We were very close to the Mercedes and the Ferraris and Red Bulls for pace, and this probably will be our closest race yet. So there is a 30% chance of rain, so I am not sure when that is going to hit, but when it does, that could shake up the whole race. So let's make our way to the grid now, and yeah guys, wish me luck, and let's hope for a good race. So here we are now on the grid of the Singapore Grand Prix with Daniel Ricciardo in 1st, Felipe Massa in 6th, and I am in 7th place. So we are now waiting for the 5 lights to go out at the Singapore Grand Prix, and away we go now, and Massa has had a brilliant start. However, Vettel is blocking him as we are going to try and go down the outside of Raikkonen. However, we hit him slightly, and we go down the middle of Rosberg and Alonso. So we are now up to 2nd place. So our good starts have fortuned us once more, and we are now up to 2nd, just behind Daniel Ricciardo. And we are that close actually, we might get the toe down this straight. This is a DRS straight, but the slipstream on this game is quite an advantage as we squeeze down the inside there, and we just about had enough room to make that move stick and not make contact with Ricciardo. So we are now up to 1st place in a space of 3 corners. So yeah, it's been a great start to the Singapore Grand Prix. But on lap 3 now, there is a slight train behind us. However, that is not because of lap times really, that is mainly because it's just really hard to get the rhythm in this circuit. It'll take me 3-4 laps to actually get a good rhythm into this Grand Prix, to learn the track a little bit and just get used to it, because it's a twisty turny circuit when you've just got to keep on going round the circuit just to get used to it, to familiarise yourself with the corners and how to enter and exit them. But we are 0.6 seconds on above our previous best, so it's looking good for this lap. So yeah, we are going extremely well now. But on lap 7, I believe it's now time to come into the pits and get a new set of wheels for my car, some more boots as I would say, and hopefully we should come out in a good position, as the entry to the pits there is really tight. I didn't realise how tight it was as I went wide over the barriers. As we are coming into the pits now, just heading down to our pit box, all the way down the field here as we dive into the pits now, and it looks like it's going to be quite a good stop. Yes, it is a 3.7 second pit stop, and we have rejoined in, it looks like it's going to be 17th place, and yes it is 17th place, we have rejoined. However, now on lap 9, lots of cars have dived into the pits, and let's see where this brings us. So we are up to 7th place now, so I believe there's a couple more cars that need to come into the pits. The cars that were running prime tyres at the start of the race, like the likes of Alonso, and Raikkonen also I think was running prime tyres. I'm not too sure though, I can't remember that far back. But yeah, now on lap 11, I believe all the cars that needed to come into the pits have finally come in now, and I believe that is now Rosberg just exiting the pits now, and it looks like he's around about 2 seconds ahead of us. So he has gained 2 seconds in 2 laps. So this is going to be interesting to see if I can close him down. As I said, we're probably closest to the Mercedes that we've ever been, so hopefully we can close the gap slightly. And yes, the gap is 2.2 seconds. That isn't exactly a big gap, so I should be able to make that disappear and hopefully catch up to the gearbox of Rosberg and take first position from him. On lap 13, the gap is still at 2.7 seconds. He's not gained that much, to be honest. He's only squeezed out another 4/10 on me from the previous laps. So we are having a very good race considering. However, on lap 17 he's just gone like a rocket. I don't know what he's done, maybe put into fuel mode mix 3 and just flown through the corners, because he's 9.6 seconds ahead of us now, so that soon will be into 10 seconds, and I think we are at the end of this lap coming into the pits. Yes, we are. I was losing too much time on those set of option tyres, they were just too worn out, and I couldn't do much else with this set of tyres. So we're coming into the pits now, and it looks like it's going to be another 3.7 second pit stop. Yes, it is. And let's see where we rejoin on lap 17 of the Singapore Grand Prix. Looks like we've rejoined in 9th, and we've got some clean air, which is quite good, so we can bang out some consistent lap times and hopefully start making that gap a little smaller to Rosberg once we come back round to everybody having their pits. But we've got Perez just behind us, and I don't think he's pitted, so it will be interesting to see if he has got the tyre life to overtake us. But on lap 18 now we're overtaking several more cars in the pits, and that looks like it's the other Force India there. Yes, it is. That is Hulkenberg just coming out the pits then, and he was the car just behind me before I went into the pits a couple of laps ago. So that is looking quite good, saying that I've got back in front of Hulkenberg, so I'm still on that pace. Let's just hope I can catch up to Rosberg before this race ends, because to be honest this is probably the best place for me to go for my race win, as on lap 22 we had Vettel in our way there. I do not know why he was going so slow. Maybe he's lost his front wing, but he was going extremely slow and blocked us, and that's lost us a second from our previous lap. But we are now up into P3 on lap 23 of the Singapore Grand Prix, and Raikkonen has jumped us in the pits. I do not know if he needs to come back in the pits though. And on lap 23 the safety car has been deployed. Somebody has crashed out. I believe it was in sector 1 that somebody had a crash. But here we are now on lap 25, and Raikkonen has come into the pits, and he's had to have another pit stop, and Rosberg is just shot away at the restart of this Grand Prix. And it is starting to rain a little bit now, so that may become an issue at the end of this race. Maybe in the last couple of laps we might have to change to intermediate tyres for safety reasons. I mean, we'll probably lose more time staying out on these tyres than we would on coming into the pits, because you only lose about 17 seconds. But yeah, at the end of lap 26 you can see I am struggling for tyre life, and I think it's probably time to come back into the pits and get a set of intermediate tyres, because the track is looking quite wet, and it is looking like it's intermediate track kind of conditions, so it will be interesting to see what will happen when we come into the pits. So here we are now exiting the pits on lap 27 of this Grand Prix, and we've rejoined in 14th place, and you can see the track is just worsening and just getting worse, so I believe it was the right choice to come in for a set of intermediate tyres when I did. So maybe this will play into our hands. Maybe we will win this Grand Prix, maybe we'll finish second, but I am hoping for at least a podium position, but my heart is set on the first place. I really want to win this race. So yeah, lap 28 now, and all the cars have come into the pits now, every single last one of them, because I've pitted a lap early. It looks like I've gained, and that is Rosberg there. Rosberg has come out of the pits, and we are now in first place, so this may be our first race win on F1 2014. So let's just pray let's just hope that we are going to win this Grand Prix, because it'd be such an achievement. I mean, I'm not the fastest driver, but to win against the much improved Legend AI on this game in a Williams, that is quite something. But now you can see the track conditions are getting extremely poor now. I believe it's time we should actually come in for a set of wet tyres, but I'd lose too much time. I'd only gain probably about 15 seconds on the cars, and they'd probably not come into the pits, so I would actually lose track position. So there is no point actually being cautious and coming into the pits. It just looks like we're going to have to stick this one out. But on lap 31, it's just been a snail's crawl to the finish line. There's just no traction, no grip, nothing. Every single corner that I try and brake at, it's locking up. I just cannot get any traction or any speed. But now our fuel has run out, so it goes from bad to worse. But it looks like the cars haven't got the pace behind me to overtake as we win the Singapore Grand Prix, and that is a solid drive by ourselves. And yeah, finish 4th or above is passed, and we've got our first race win with our teammate in 15th and Jensen Button in 4th. So I'm extremely happy about that. It was probably one of the best races I've raced on Formula 1 2014 career mode. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed this race. But do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, this is Elliot Splash, signing out.